information to trigger the alarm. None.
Well, sounds pretty smart. Right?
Wrong.
All right, I'm stupid.
All right, he says it, but does he mean it?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't mean it.
The man's 36 years old. Let him tell you how many years he spent in prison.
18. I spent 18.
Hey, hold it. Listen to me. I was a wise guy, but now I'm a square John. When I was a wise guy, I spent time in prison. Now I'm a square John and I'm free. What do I want to be the rest of my life? Wise guy or square John? A square John!
Hey, listen to me! Hey, now listen to me! Listen to me! I did big job. I hit banks. Once, I made a $39,000 score. And after I had divided it 4 ways and spent 7 years in prison, what was my income? 0. That's right. Now, I operate a crane, and I make $260 a week. And I got a wife, and I got a little daughter. And what have you got?
I'm stupid.
All right, hold it down, hold it.
Now, let me tell you something. If we could get up here, I'd give all the testimonials we want. But when you come right down to it, every single one of us has to look at ourselves and say, crime is not for me anymore. And when we get that old feeling again, and we're down around those joints down there. Yeah. We want to be big in front of the guy. Yeah. We get that feeling. One more job. Just one. Just to get a bankroll. And when that feeling comes over me, I think of my last cell. My last month of prison, which was August. And how hot that cell was. And I say to myself, I got the power of choice over myself. I could either stay free.
Sorry to bother you, miss. My name's Kincaid. I'm a parole officer, and this is Detective Berger.
Miss, we have a warrant here signed by Judge Fluellen of Superior Court, granting us the power to search the premises of the South Houston Rehabilitation Center.
The power to search these premises for what?
One Raymond Kane.
Well, you don't have to search the premises. He's right here.
Mr. Gary, did you know he was still on parole?
Parole?
I hope you didn't know, Mr. Gary. Because you let him come in here. You let him associate with known criminals here, which is a violation of his parole, and he's under arrest.
JUDD. For the defense.
Let him go. 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 Let him go.
All right.
Let him go.
Break it.
Let him go.
Break it.
Let him go.
Quiet down, all of you. Come on, quiet. Well, this organization has some pretty prominent people supporting it. And serving on the board, too. And we've got first-class legal talent available to us. Whatever should be done for Mr. Kane will be done. So what sense does it make for you to act like a bunch of cons? All right, gentlemen.
Wait. Don't worry.
Yep.
The Square House Charter. And I should know something about it because I drew it up for you, didn't I, Sam?
Yes, all right.
It specifically prohibits the residence of ex-convicts on parole. Now, does it or doesn't it?
Yes, it does, but we didn't know about Kane.
How could you help knowing?
These things happen.
He couldn't help knowing, Mr. Judd, because of a clerical error.
Now, what clerk could miss a simple check on Kane's record?
The entire clerical staff, me. I have a master's degree. I attempt to understand and help these men, but I was a month behind in the files when Mr. Kane came in.
Vicky, I said at the start the center was lucky to get you, but that has nothing to do with its present problem, which is a number of people serving as its board of directors through my recommendation. And we're all of us very painfully embarrassed by this monumental goof-up.
You think that's the problem I came about? How you and your fellow dignitaries are embarrassed? I came about Ray Kane. Now, is he going to have to go back to prison for 10 more years?
All right, Sam. We'll put it to Mr. Caldwell. He's not a director of Square House. He's not emotionally involved. What do you say to this, Ben?
Forget it.
Forget it. What? A man's life?
There isn't a snowball's chance.
Won't even try?
Try what? The charge against him is parole violation. Association with known criminals. He associated. That's all a parole officer has to prove.
But what if we tell you that these men at Square House aren't criminals anymore, really?
Miss Anderson, you can't go along making up your own definitions. The law says ex-cons are known criminals.
Yes, but these men have yelled at him. They've hounded him. They've insulted him. And he takes it. He's trying to become a Square John. He takes it. That's how hard he's trying. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
You know, wait a minute. Look, don't make me the heavy. I didn't legislate the parole code.
Well, let me tell you something about that code. It's wrong. Who's an ex-con supposed to associate with? You? Would you have anything to do with them? I mean, when it comes right down to it, you might put in a little do-gooder time. But you want him for a friend? You know you don't. So what do we got here? We got a man who won't take any moral lessons from do-gooders, who won't listen to anybody except maybe somebody like me, because I know what it's like to come back into society branded with a felony record. And I put this man next to other men like me who've made it, and a lot of other men who haven't made it yet, but they're trying. Like this man is trying. And maybe they can sort of hold each other up. But we're not state-supported or church-affiliated, so the code says that a parolee can't come in with us. And under this code, the men that are released from prison are 80% going back into prison in no time at all. And you're going to tell me that this code works?
Sam, isn't it just because in the short time that Square House has been operating, not one man who's gone through it has returned to prison, that you've got to look at it in context?
What context?
A community that doesn't want you in its backyard. 3 lawsuits lying on my desk, claiming that Square House is in violation of the zoning laws. Now, we're defending those suits. But do you want to expose the center to the kind of publicity that's bound to flare up if we defend this one man?
All right, what's my alternative? Do I let them send Kane back into prison without even lifting a finger to help him?
Kane knew he was breaking the rules. When he put one foot inside the premises, he knew it. Now, Mr. Judd is asking, do you want to risk your whole rehabilitation center for a man like that?
That's exactly why we've got to help him.
Why, Sam?
Because he is a man.
Ben, how do you feel about taking on the parole code?
Well, you go on, Mr. Judd.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Kane, will you tell the members of the parole board how you've been supporting yourself?
Raising cars.
You like this kind of work?
No, I don't like this kind of work, but I do it. I have to do it because you have to have a job to stay on parole, and I do it because I'll do anything to stay out of prison. I went to Square House in the first place because I heard, well, you know, somebody told me that it could help me. You want to hear something funny? Association with known criminals. I get a proposition a week, everything from armored cars to finance companies, and not one comes from the guys at Square House.
Mr. Gary, how would you sum up what it is that you do for these men at your rehabilitation center?
I tell them the truth. I tell them that society's not going to change for their sake. They're going to have to change if they don't want to stay out of prison. They can either nurse grudges and resentments or stay free. They can't have it both ways.
And do you also encourage these men to develop moral values and standards?
No, sir, I do not. Because cons like these have no morals. They never will have morals. They're a bunch of psychopaths. Excuse me. That's an old-fashioned term I learned while I was in prison. The new term is sociopaths. Well, it means the same thing. A man born without a conscience. Now, you can't teach him that it's morally wrong to knock your neighbor on the head and rob him. He'll never understand why it's wrong. But you can teach him that it's stupid. So It's not a matter of morals. It's a matter of plain, greedy self-interest. And that's the treatment I give them.
Gentlemen, I believe that we've established beyond any doubt what Mr. Kane intended by his association with the so-called known criminals at Square House. He intended only to help himself stay away from further crime. For this reason, I ask you first not to send him back to prison. Second, since the ordinary rules of parole so often fail, since Mr. Kane evidently feels strongly and sincerely that the only real help he can get is from Square House, I ask you to make an exception in his case.